Today we're going to read a story called Little Night and the Flood. Before we get started on the story, we need to do a little bit of word work. You'll need your whiteboard, your marker, and your eraser. If you don't have those supplies, go ahead and get a pencil, a pen, and a piece of paper. Go ahead and pause the video if you need time to get your supplies. All right, the first word we're going to review is the word looked. Say it, write it. Looked. Remember, it does not have a T in the word looked. So how would we write that? Looked, looked. Check. Were you right? L-O-O-K-E-D. This E-D sometimes can say t, ed, or d. In this word, it's saying looked. The E-D is saying t, looked. All right, erase. Your next word is the word there. There. That was the word we did last week. There. Say it, write it. Starts with a digraph. Two letters that make one sound. The. Check it. Were you right? T-H-E-R-E. There. And here's the two letters that say the. There. Go ahead and erase. Your next word, of. Of, and it's not spelled U-V. Have to remember, how do we spell that? Of. Check, were you right? O-F, of. Nice job. Go ahead and erase that word. I have another tricky one. The word is was. Was. Remember, how do you spell that word? Write it. Was. Was. Check, were you right? W-A-S. Was. Was is a tricky word. Go ahead and erase and put your marker and eraser away. Today we're going to look at parts, or how to break words apart. This is a big word, and we're going to have to look about where we can break the word into parts that we know. Here's the word. Is there part of that word you know? Yes, you do know WH says W. But is there a bigger part of that word that you know? Let's look. Wait, I know that word. I know this part says where. Where. So now I need to look at this part. Every. Every. So this word is everywhere. I can break it into two parts. Everywhere. We will see this word in our story today about Little Night and the Flood. Everywhere. Something's probably going to be everywhere. I wonder what would be everywhere in a flood. All right. We are going to look at a word that might be new to you. It's one of our sight words, or our words to know, depending on what your teacher calls them. This word is were. Say that with me. Were. Let's take a good look at this word. Were. Make sure you look at every single letter. W-E-R-E. Were. Were. Like it's been a long time since we were at school. Were. All right, we're going to play a game called What's Missing? Miss Barnett's going to take a letter away. See if you can figure out what's missing. What's missing? Yes, the E. W-E-R-E. Were. All right, we're going to do it again. What's missing? Yes, the W. W-E-R-E. Were. All right, it's your turn. Find your magnetic letters, if you have some, like refrigerator magnets, or Miss Barnett sent you some little paper letters, and you need to build the word were. You can go ahead and do that right now. And if you don't have any supplies, just go ahead and practice air writing it or write it on your table with your finger. Whir. All right, ready? Let's say those letters. W-E-R-E. If you can, push the letters as you say them. W-E-R-E. Whir. Now a game we normally play is called Mix and Fix. You're going to mix up the letters and fix it to build the word whir. Get them really mixed up. All right, whir. W-E-R-E. Whir. Do it again. Whir. See if you can beat me this time. Ready? Go. W-E-R-E. Whir. Whir. Great job. I hope you enjoy our story today. Today we're going to read the story Little Knight and the Flood. In this story, Little Knight and Mother Mouse were visiting Patty Mouse at her house in the woods. Let's take a picture walk. Little Knight and the Flood. So Little Knight, if you say that word, night, it sounds like it would start with the letter N, but actually it's like K-N, knee, and so it starts with K-N. It has a silent K. So this is night, K-N-I-G-H-T, night. So our character's name is Little Knight. So we have Little Knight, Mother Mouse, and Patty Mouse. Those are our three characters. So Mother Mouse and Little Knight are visiting Patty Mouse at her house in the woods. And as you can see in the picture, Little Knight is looking out the window and he's seeing that the wind is blowing and it's lightning and it's raining. And he's realizing that the water is going to come into the house. So here's Mother Mouse and Patty Mouse, and they're outside looking. They're like, oh dear, the water is coming up fast. The river must be flooding. So if we say that word flooding, what do you hear first? What will you see at the beginning of that word? Like F-L, flower, full. Here it is, flooding, flooding. We know those parts. FL says full. We know ing, flooding. So if the river's flooding, they're worried about the water coming into the house. Uh-oh. Mother Mouse is saying they need to get out of the house very soon. Why do you think they need to get out of the house very soon? Yes, the water is coming in. So they're trying to think, what can they do? There's water everywhere. Everywhere. Isn't that one of those words we worked on a little bit ago? Everywhere. We broke it apart. Because this is a really big word. But if we break it into parts we know every, we know where. And when we put them together, we get this big word, everywhere. It's called a compound word. So when we're reading, we're making sure we look for those chunks that we know. Uh-oh. The water began to come into the house. What do you think the mice are going to do? Maybe. So here they are. They're getting off of the floor. So they are, what are they doing? It looks like a table. Maybe they're, oh, here it is. We all climbed. They climbed onto the table. The water kept coming, so they're like, what are we going to do now? It kept getting higher and higher. Looks like Little Knight might have an idea. He's kind of pointing at something on page 13. He has an idea. He says, get into the bowl, the bowl. So got into the bowl, and now Patty thinks they're stuck in the bowl. So I'm not going to show you the next page because I want you to go back and reread the story to find out what happens. Are they stuck in the bowl? We'll have to find out. We have to read to find out, just like we normally do. All right. So you're going to use the chunks and parts that you know to help you solve words. And you're also going to make sure your reading makes sense. So if it doesn't make sense, stop and go back and reread that sentence. All right. If I get going too fast of turning the pages, remember you can push pause and go back and reread. Okay? All right. Little Night and the Flood. Little Night and the Flood. Go ahead and begin. So were they really stuck in the boat, or were they really stuck in the bowl? No, because the bowl became a boat. So then they could get away. All right, when you are reading this on the Literacy Footprints website, you will have the option to click this check mark saying mark read. That way, it will show up in your digital book bag and you can read this book again. So it's important to click that check mark. And if you don't have access to the Literacy Footprints website yet, send me an email or a text and I can get you hooked up with that. It's for free, and that there's over 170 books that are on there for free to read. Um, and you can just click through and read along off your computer screen, just like you did here with this video with me. So what did Little Knight, Mother Mouse, and Patty do when the river began flooding? What did they do? Do you remember? Let's go back and see. What did they do when the river began flooding? Here it is. It said the water began to come up in the house. So here, what are they doing in the picture? Yeah, what are they doing right here? They climbed onto the table. And then what did they do? And they got into the bowl and used it as a boat. Nice job. All right, next you're going to do a little bit of writing with me. Did you enjoy reading the story, Little Knight and the Flood? So did I. There's more Little Knight stories, so we'll have to see if you can read some more of them later. Today we're going to write about, were Little Knight, Mother Mouse, and Patty Mouse stuck as the water came up? Were they stuck? They thought they were partway through the story, but were they really stuck? No, they weren't. So our sentence for today is going to be, no, they were not stuck. They had a boat. How many words is that? Yes, 9 words. So when you're writing your sentence today, make sure you go back and reread because you need to have 9 words. So again, the story is, no, they were not stuck. They had a boat. Did you hear me pause there after the word stuck? No, they were not stuck. There should be a comma after that word. They had a boat. Or you can make it 2 sentences. All right, let's go. If you need to pause the video, which you should, then you can do your writing and then push play again and we'll go back and go over your work. All right, so on your practice page, let's stretch out the word stuck. I'm going to write boxes for the sounds we hear in that word, stuck. All right, so what do we hear first? St, st. What 2 letters make that sound? St. Yes, S, T, like star, st. So st, What vowel says st, like umbrella. Yes. U, st, k. What do we hear at the end? K. It could be a C or a K. In this case, it's actually both of them together. C, K. St, stuck. So check your work. Your story should say, no, they were not stuck. They had a boat. All right, on the bottom of your page, write your 7 boxes. We're going to go through our checklist for writing. You got your 7 boxes written? They don't have to be fancy. All right, your first one. I used a capital letter for the first word in each sentence. Did you use a capital letter? Go ahead and check. I used punctuation at the end of my sentence. Check. Did you use punctuation? And did you use a comma after that word stuck? That's a punctuation mark. Number 3, I used finger spaces between my words. Can we see where the one word stops and the next word starts? Great work. I spelled my sight words correctly. Double check. Words to know, sight words, are they spelled correct? I used my best handwriting. I went back and reread my sentence to make sure it makes sense. And that target is that you stretched out words you didn't know. Did you get all 7 check marks? Great job. All right, I look forward to doing another lesson with you guys next week. Have a great week.